Hey there, fellow do-it-yourself enthusiast. This is Paul Baccash, and I'm going to attempt to replace the active noise cancel unit in this Honda 2005 Accord Hybrid. What it does is it's supposed to prevent a rumble that occurs when the hybrid kicks in and shifts the engine from 6 cylinders to 3. That does save gas, but it does throw the engine off balance, and it causes a low frequency rumble that actually comes through the front speakers. And there's a unit that's actually located behind the whole center console here that is supposed to use phase canceling to cancel out that noise. Problem is, the unit is faulty, and Honda's not going to warranty it. And they wanted to charge me $700 to replace it. So I went online and I saw the part online for $260, and I purchased it. And I also purchased a shop book for $25 on eBay, and with those two and a couple of screwdrivers, I'm hoping to get this off and replace the unit and have this annoying sound come to an end, because it does drive me crazy, and I'm sure anyone else out there that has this problem knows exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, let me get the tools and we'll get started. This is the part itself. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it is basically a unit that mounts somewhat like this, I believe, with 4 screws, 2 on each side, and it goes behind the unit, and this piece just snaps in, kind of like an Ethernet cable adapter, only much larger. So once we get back there, it should be a matter of just the 4 screws and just taking this out of the other one and putting it in the new one. So it should be really easy to do once we get behind there. The hardest part is actually getting in there. When you buy this unit, Honda also sends you 2 replacement speakers for the front. It's included. It came out to $262 and a couple of pennies, I think. And so you can replace your speakers as well. It's assumed that the low frequency rumble has pretty much destroyed your speakers, but if you want to replace them, that's great. But what I would do first is just test the seat, pop a CD in there and turn the volume way up, and if it doesn't distort, then you can use the existing speakers. That's the case in my situation. My speakers are fine, so I just want to replace the unit, and I'll keep these in the event that somewhere down the road I do need to replace them. So we won't get to this time around. And you get 2 of those speakers, 1 for each side of the front panels. They fit right in the door. I'm going to turn the camera to show right there. Let's get to it. There. That's it right there. Okay, so that would be another day. Next, what I did was I went out and I bought this Honda Accord 2000 Hybrid service manual. New, they go for like $89, but I found one on eBay for $25, and there were a bunch of others that were selling for around $25 to $45. So you can get one of these books without having to pay top dollar for a brand new one. And yes, this one is a little used, but all the pages are intact, and the cover's got a little bit of scratches, but that doesn't really bother me because I just need the information that's inside. So after looking at all this, I found that the actual unit itself is referenced right here in section 23, page 76 of section 23. And it tells you how to remove the noise, how to replace the active noise control unit removal and installation. So of course, first it says you've got to remove the audio HVAC display module. That's this. Let's see if we're on now. Okay. So that's this here is the HVAC display module. So we've got to replace that. Now the only way to replace this, the only way to open this up is to take off the top piece. So we're going to do that first. All right, on page 2068, it's telling you here, upper panel removal. So it's telling us to take a screwdriver and put it in here where the hazard button is. There's a clip there supposedly. And then it tells you to use this special tool that presses in both clips on either side. But it also tells you that you can do it with a screwdriver, and you just have to do each side independently. So what it tells you to do is to take blue tape, which is the blue tape right here, and put it on the tips. This way you don't have to worry about scratching. I mean, you probably still do, but it's much less likely to scratch the dashboard because we do want to keep it looking decent. So what it does say is to put, and I hope I'm not blocking, but put this here and push down a clip. The illustration kind of shows it going straight down. Now I think the way it's supposed to work is while that's in there, you're supposed to use the other screw to wedge on this end. So what I gotta do is do it like this. Once you pop that in and you push these out, this thing slides forward, and you can just leave it there because the work that I'm going to be doing is just to get to here. So I don't need to disconnect anything. So again, I just basically push down the reflector, the hazard switch, put the screw in there, and then in here there's these two little latches that you can loosen by just pushing in. You're going to need a small screwdriver. I use the screwdriver like this size, which in relation to my hand is pretty small. It's a straight head. And then I use this screwdriver to do down the center console, the hazard switch. Alright, so now the next thing that the book tells you to do, you have to unscrew these top 3 screws here. They're Phillips. Okay, so I'm going to use just a typical drill bit, and I'll just be sure to go slow. Okay, so upper panel is removed. 3 screws on the center are removed. However, if you have a navigation, the book tells you that you have to remove the navigation control unit, which is nothing more than a DVD player, basically. But that has to come out. That's this section down here. Okay, so in order to proceed, just to recap, we have to remove the upper panel, unscrew the 3 screws here, and now we've got to remove this, because if you have a navigation unit, which is this, the only way you can get this out is by unscrewing here, and that's behind this little thing here. And of course, in order to get this out, you've got to take out the ashtray. And in order to get the ashtray out, you've got to loosen this panel here. This was easy. I just did it by hand, a couple of snaps. And this was 2 screws right in the back. You gotta pry out this little rubber thing that's in there. You just get in on the sides and you pry it out with a little screwdriver, and that comes out, revealing 2 screw holes right here. So you just pull, you get that out, and now you can just kind of hang that on the side. Because again, I'm not disconnecting any of this. I just need to get access to this, and the only way to do that is to remove everything around it, unfortunately. Alright, so the next thing I have to do is get rid of this cover. I don't think I have to remove the actual DVD unit that has the disc in it that controls the GPS. I just think I need to get this cover off so that I can see the screws that are underneath holding this thing in place. So let's see if we can get to that.